I call the DEP all the time. They won't answer me. They don't call me back. That water line that we were supposed to get is squashed now. I mean, they just took it off the map. All because Corbett's administration, they said, was not going to approve it anyway, so it was going to get squashed. And here we are, going on 3 years, and no clean water. Don't let them screw your water up here, please.
Because it seems to me that we can do a lot of grassroots work, and it's wonderful, but it also seems to me that the corporations respond to when their pocketbooks are hit.
It's a great question, and in a way, let me respond to that question and give everyone just an update from my chair. And this is what it looks like. We're working with 8 universities. We're working with a team of about 10 lawyers. All of our organizations are partnering selflessly. We're doing lots of different things, as Mark said, in lots of different ways. We're working with the best expert and scientific people in the country, in Graphia, Dr. Colburn, Al Appleton. We speak with them every day. So in a way, we've got, and I can tell you, we have now major benefactors who are beginning to understand, as Mark said, this is the real deal. This is where we test democracy, and this is where we test what it is it means to have some rights. But the report is very encouraging, which is why I responded to you the way I did. We're going to dig in here. If Gandhi could challenge the British Empire for salt, we can challenge these global operations for our water. And we're the people that are getting it done. But we're not doing it alone. We're working very closely with the scientists, the experts, the lawyers, the universities, and the celebrities. And now, to report, very big benefactors are beginning to understand and act. So it's going to take action on all of our parts as well as all those folks. But yes, the legal efforts are ongoing. We have now 3 federal lawsuits that are going. In Dimick, there's all sorts of machinations, but we're taking the record and we're making the record built more solidly, and we'll use that record across Pennsylvania and New York and the rest of the country. That's an important sort of process that we're involved in.
I just want to add to that. I think looking to lawyers or looking to environmental groups. I mean, Mark already said that, but it is us. And I've met so many people over the last 3 years. People like Kaylin, who called me up and said, "Who's this Andrew Boyer guy?" And it's people who staying up all night on the computer. I get emails at 4 o'clock in the morning. I see when people are emailing me. Holy cow, they're still up. It's us that is doing it. And I always think of the first phone call I made to somebody in Wyoming when Casco Mountain Keeper was trying to organize the hearing, the public forum in Liberty and Walton that we did. And I got this woman on the phone from the Powder River Basin Commission who'd been dealing with gas drilling for close to 30 years. And she didn't know anything about the Marcellus Shale, and I started telling her all about where it is, how deep it is, how much gas there's supposed to be in it, and that there's landmen working in Wayne County and Sullivan County. And she goes, "Yes! Finally there's gas drilling in the east." And what she was talking about is all of a sudden it wasn't just going to be in places where there are no people to make change. It was going to happen where a lot of people were going to be able to find out what the hell was going on and change what happens.
Here. We anticipated all of this. This is a jobs versus quacks and weirdos like me. Okay? So, well, I'm being facetious, but let me say to you this. We anticipated all of this, and we have a number of initiatives that we're working on now to really address this. Moving forward, we can't really necessarily be opposed to anything. The one thing we have to do is certainly be working very hard to protect what we have. What we have is a beautiful community, we have clean air, we have clean water. So it's easy. And we don't have much of a beef. We need energy, great. Show us the studies. Where are the studies? And that's going to be the Achilles heel here. There are no studies. And we're going to press this thing forward until we make those studies happen. No matter what the politicians say, that's all anticipated. Because it's part of the mix.
That's right. There was a memo that was leaked a couple of days ago, and that's what it looks like. It looks like that if any DEP enforcement people in Pennsylvania want to write a ticket, they have to send it to the top officers at DEP. So it's kind of like, can you imagine if they did that to the state troopers? They can't write you a ticket until the governor says it's okay for speeding.
All right.
Okay, way in the back.
Yes, I'm in the food industry, and we're highly regulated. And anytime we want to make a change in our process and labels, there are various members of the USDA that oversee us. So I guess my question is, if when we change a label and we want to add some verbiage to it, why are we having these administrative loopholes that we need to jump through? Where is the EPA when it comes to this? No budget.
The EPA was taken out of the equation in 2005 by Dick Cheney when they passed the Energy Act. They made it exempt from the Safe Drinking Water Act. It has exemptions from the Superfund Act, from the Clean Water Act, and from the Clean Air Act. There's essentially no federal regulation. In New York, the fracking that's going on right now was not even envisioned when the 1992 study was put in place, talking about 80,000 gallons of fracking fluid. We just found out through a FOIL request there are fracking wells in New York State today with up to 650,000 gallons of toxic fracking fluid. The GEIS from 1992 talks about 20 to 80,000 gallons. There's no regulation for slick water fracking in New York at all, yet every day they're permitting it in a new well. Each and every day in New York we have a new well fracked. There's no regulation.
But quickly, there is the Frack Act that's trying to make its way to the floor right now. Maurice Hinchey initiated it, and it's an action alert that if you want to help tonight, you could go to Catskill Citizens, you could go to Mountain Keeper, all this information out there, you could go and sign that thing tonight. And you know what? Signing that will actually give you some hope. Because I've found from doing this, if you're losing hope, it's because you're not doing enough. It's incumbent upon us. And once you engage just one step each time, it gives you something. And so we can walk out of here very disappointed tonight and feeling very glum and very down. We can also walk out of here tonight, hit our keyboards, literally in 2 seconds, have an email off to the people who it actually counts for. And believe me, I've been up to Albany. People made this happen. We've stopped this. They were supposed to have 50,000 wells here today. And they told us from the beginning, you'll never win. Stop it. It's coming to New York and you can't stop it. And that's what they've been telling us for 3 years. They've been telling us that. And we went to Albany. And you know what they said to us? Wow, we've never seen normal people up here. You guys aren't lobbyists? You're not getting paid to be here? And there's 100 of you? Shit, this must be serious. And it works that way. It does work that way. So yes, we're not regulated. You're absolutely right. But you know what? There is a bill that is addressing this, and it should be signed, and it can be signed, and we will make that happen. So I ask you, that's one thing you can do immediately.
And when is this bill going to get signed?
We have a question. We'll try to do this.
April 11th.
Well, yeah, I was just going to put a plug for April 11th. There's you mentioned the EPA, but it even goes back before 2005 in the Halbert loophole. In 1980, there's the Waste Recovery Act that says that the EPA cannot regulate waste from oil and gas operation as hazardous waste. So we have a situation in the state of New York because of that you have a toxic chemical in a bag or a tank or whatever coming to a site, and it is classified under RCRA as Class C hazardous waste, and it has to be treated that way. And there's a whole regulatory process, cradle to grave process. It has to go to a special facility. Well, it comes to an oil and gas drilling site, gets mixed with some water and sand, some other chemicals, gets pumped down at extremely high pressure, mixed with toxins in the ground, radioactivity, and it comes back up. That's no longer toxic waste. We don't have to worry about it. that needs to change, and it doesn't matter that the EPA can't regulate that, because New York State can. And we don't even have to go through a long regulatory process. The governor tomorrow could sign an executive order to say to the DEC that they need to change how they regulate what qualifies as Class C hazardous waste, and the DEC could next week say that that stuff has to be regulated as toxic waste. And you can go to Albany on April 11th. The deadline to register, if you go to Citizens Campaign for the Environment website, is on Monday if you want to lobby. There's like 100 and, actually it's close to 200 people now registered to lobby, but that's going to have a huge impact. There's a whole series of things to lobby for that you can all find out about from those websites. But, and if you can't register to lobby, you don't get around to it before Monday, come to Albany anyway, because there's going to be a lot of noise in the Capitol Park and a rally and a bunch of speakers. Josh Fox will be there, Sandra Steingraber, and we need to create an echo chamber in Albany that says, not now and not here.
The more people, the better.